Hey, what's up my friends? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Victor and I help people navigate through their awakening process. And today I'm going to share some tips that'll help you manage your stressful, draining job as you go through this process, which, as you can already tell, doesn't seem to care much that you have a life to live and obligations. It kind of runs its course and has a mind of its own. So it's pretty common, at least for me, maybe not to you guys, but it's very common to hear that I've woken up, I'm ascending, I'm awakening, and I realize how much I hate my job. I realize how much it stresses me out. I realize how that stress lingers with me as I come home, and it drains my energy. It suffocates me. I just hate it. But I'm stuck. I know there's people looking for their purpose and all that good stuff, but I got bills coming every month, and I can't quit. So what do? There's times that I used to go to work and feel so unbalanced and out of sorts and exhausted that I honestly, I would pull up and I'd question even going in, is this gonna work? Are you gonna be able to handle this, man? So it's tough. It seems like unfair. Unfair of the universe, unfair of the awakening. Why am I in this predicament which just seems so inconvenient and challenging? So that's what this video is about. It's going to help you manage yourself while presently, even though it might not be forever, while you still are at a tough job. The first tip I have is to have patience. Patience is tough to just have, I realize that, but look at it this way. It's very common that there's an acceleration of awareness due to the awakening that causes you to suddenly see things clearly for the first time, including your job, which you might now realize in a very big and tangible way it's not ideal for you and you hate it. So that can bring with it a sense of urgency. Oh, I gotta quit. Not always the case, not always wise. Parallel to this, sometimes we get these visions, an idea or a connection with a future scenario that we resonate with so deeply, somewhere else we'd much rather be, and even thinking about that puts us into a state of almost bliss, like, yes, that's what I would love to do. And that can also create a sense of urgency, like, I gotta get there. This is not right. This is just not me. This is not gonna work. But acting in a too hasty of a way, it just doesn't make a lot of logical sense. Okay, I realize I have this vision. I believe it. I have faith it can somehow manifest, but it doesn't seem anywhere around the corner, that's for sure. And I also am having all this craziness with my work, but when I seriously contemplate, what are my options? I can't just quit. So you're kind of stuck there. So have patience. Understand that many people will get visions of their future, in a sense, not in a woo-woo, airy-fairy way, but just an idea of where they really believe they have the potential to be in their life. And it's down the line quite a ways. And initially, upon hearing this, you might think, oh man, well that sucks. I guess I'll be unhappy until then. No, that's not the case. The journey can be very exciting as well. And though you might end up there, that's not where the joy lies. The joy lies in all the little discoveries and gems you pick up along the way. But you invalidate that and you accelerate the negativity when we're focused too far in advance. Rather, it's better to have patience and say, yes, I now feel awesome and happy that I kind of have some loose sense of where I'm going, that I actually believe I will get there. But in the meantime, I'm going to do my best to kind of roll with it and accept the situation. And that can totally, radically change your mindset. In the very, very beginning of my awakening, when I started going through what I would call the Ascension process, where I had this big sort of crazy experience, and since that point I was in it. It was on. It was when everything started kind of transpiring. And there was a time when I first stumbled upon tarot cards. I got them as a gag gift a long time ago And my daughter kept, like, my little 2 or 3 year old at the time, kept bringing them to me and handing them to me. So I was like, what is this? And she finally, this, like, I just shuffled through them, and this card popped out. I don't remember the card exactly for you tarot readers, but it was like of a, in fact, I'm capturing the feeling I had when I saw it right now. It's of like this family kind of looking off into like the mountains or something. And it like shot me with this idea, like, that'll be you. You'll be somewhere by mountains, some naturey, badass, awesome place with your family, and you're gonna be so happy. And at the time, it was like we were like, had a house. It was just so, we were living not, nowhere near mountains, and I just knew that was real. And I'm finally there now. It actually did happen, but it took me a long freaking time. And I suffered and struggled all the whole way like a doofus because I was like so hell-bent on reaching there. And when I got there, I realized, wow, this is also, in a sense, just the beginning of some other new journey. So I'm going to start enjoying these journeys more, because it's just going to lead to a culmination that's very fleeting. And born out of that will be another thing I'm going for. Essentially what I'm saying is, if you can just kind of accept that it might take some time to get to that ultimate goal in your mind, you can have a much more enjoyable present as you get there. Number 2 is be realistic. It's funny, I talked to a guy today who, in my opinion, already found his destination in a sense. He was doing what he loves, but he sprung into this awakening, and he's now becoming aware of a lot of the negativity in his life is becoming more magnified. And he concluded that this must not be it. Where's my purpose, And I was like, I think you found it, man. And where was I gonna go with this? Yes. Being realistic. I think a lot of people have the idea of a purpose as some flawless bliss bubble where there's not a shred of negativity and you're just floating around in the ethers. I don't mean that literally, but that's kind of what I had. I had this kind of grand idea of a purpose. And I feel like I found mine in a sense, but there's still plenty of negativity I deal with every day that's connected to it. But that doesn't mean I haven't found it yet. It just means that the reality of life is that it's full of ups and downs and challenges, and you could, again, be a lot happier now if you're not ignoring what's already right there in your face, maybe. Again, the focus on the negativity that may or may not be connected with your ideal job or purpose can really can skew it, can obscure what's already right there. Like, I love shooting these videos. I transitioned out of other jobs, and now I'm doing this, and I love it. This right here is just gold and magic to me. I just feel so great and connected. But there's a lot of other things I do connected to me being able to do this that are stressful, that are unpleasant, that are tedious, boring, etc. But that's okay. I've accepted that and don't focus on that. And therefore, my ability to enjoy this is exponentially increased. Number 3, as quickly as you can, learn from all of the things about your job you don't like. Oftentimes, the fastest way to move beyond something is to honor and validate why it's there in the first place. There's almost always an inherent learning or growth opportunity within a challenge or a component in your life that you don't like. I've had many job situations, some of them during my awakening, where I felt like stuck and like I had to go into work even though it was just like obviously not ideal, but I couldn't yet stop. And I can now see in retrospect why I lingered in those types of situations, because I learned just a ton, both about myself and not always personal insights. Sometimes it was just to help me really clarify what it is I do want. I'll give an example. I opened a gym business. I always talk about that. I won't go into details, but the gym business stemmed out of my highest joy when it started. I associated owning a gym business with the most possible freedom I could imagine. I'm my own boss, I'm doing what I enjoy doing, I'm helping people, and there's freedom. But the reality of that, at least in my experience, was that I was not free. There was too much stress and negativity associated with that. And even though I didn't have to go into it towards the end where I had employees, I was always attached to it. It wasn't really freedom in that. And I had to kind of stew in that and really suffer a little bit to get it through my head to say, you know what, Victor, maybe this isn't the only way to freedom. Maybe there's something better. Maybe this experience was a stepping stone to an upgrade, which I do now. Now I work online. There's way more freedom, way less of that type of stress and just negativity. There's some of it, as I mentioned, but way less, far more tolerable, and way more freedom. And I'm helping people in greater numbers and to a greater degree. But if I didn't have that shitty experience doing what I insisted was the best, I would have never even had the idea to seek further. But if I could have gone back and maybe admitted that maybe this isn't the best option earlier, I could have moved on more quickly. But regardless, if I could go back, I would have that inquisitive mindset as to why this part of my life is not ideal. Why have I attracted it? What was my role in it? How can I learn and benefit from it? And I find that mindset will help the negative elements and negative reflections in our life not have a need of being there. They're there to help you. They're there so you freaking look at it and then get the message. And if we have that intention of immediately getting the message sooner, the mirror goes away. Number 4 is I know a lot of people get really tired and fatigued from their job. They're picking up on all the emotions of the coworkers, and it's oftentimes negative, and just the nature of the job is maybe stressful and maybe out of alignment a little bit, and the consequences of you just being like a mess when you get home. But a lot of times that we come home and we're kind of wired at the same time as being tired, and instead of doing what would actually help us, like relaxing, we carry that energy and we just stay in that sort of zone, and we never give ourselves time to chill. So what I would recommend is like scheduling and making yourself chill. What I've been doing lately as a way of kind of turning off after work, because I get into work mode big time where I can't even listen to other people. I'm just like so immersed in it. But I have to like pull myself out of that so I can be like the dad and the husband and stuff. So what I do now after work is I lay in my little chair there, I close my eyes, and I just repeat in my mind, let go, let go, let go. And what happens when I do that is I become aware of where I'm not letting go. I become aware of tension in my body and stress and just like my monkey mind. And then I address that directly. I say, allow, allow, allow. And in allowing it, it goes away. So that's not me telling you a specific thing to do. That's giving you an example of some sort of thing that might work. Maybe this sounds crazy and you'd rather go and work out or do some sit-ups or meditate. All the same. I'm giving myself the time to unwind and transition out of work mode so that I can kind of be relaxed and not carry that energy into the rest of my day, which will eventually lead to a burnout, me burning out. In light of some of the suggestions earlier on, like be patient, your grand vision might be, it takes some time. Use your manifestation powers in a more short-term, more immediate way. A lot of people say, I'm in this job, I hate it. I want to be there, but I can't. So then life just sucks. Then you're kind of like giving up in a sense. Instead, what works very well, and I see this with a lot of my clients, is to have the mindset of, okay, I am here a little while. How can I improve this? I'm gonna not intend to be somewhere prematurely because I think that's what's gonna make me happy. I'm gonna try to improve my situation even though a little bit. A lot of times people will do this and they'll be promoted, or they'll shift into a different jurisdiction or a different place, or a coworker will quit or something. They hire another person to kind of share the load. Little things like that are more they're possible. But you got to kind of use your intention and manifestation abilities in that way, and you'll be amazed at how many doors start flying open when you do that. But if you claim that I don't want to be here, I want to be there, and life sucks, then life is going to suck. You're going to manifest more suckiness in your life, and you don't have to. I had a guy, he was working at, he worked at Chipotle. He's got a really good job. He's got like a higher up managerial type of position, but he really wants to be on YouTube. I'm helping him get out there on YouTube and whatnot. And he was like, he kind of had that same mindset as I was speaking about earlier. Like, I just wish, I just want to be doing that now. I'm like, well, you haven't started yet. That's not going to probably work. Let's give yourself like a year or two or something, dude. You know, okay. And then he said, just having that be said to him and giving himself the permission to like be here, even though it might not be where he would eventually like to be, just that more like relaxed, accepting mindset allowed him to, he said his day-to-day work experience went just way better, more smoothly, less negativity, not as draining. So anyways, again, a lot of times the awakening can suddenly bring to your attention something that is out of place. But many times there's a bit of time that needs to pass before we can remove it. But there's that real sense of urgency. But if we can kind of ignore that and say, okay, I'm not gonna ignore you. I realize you're here, but in the meantime, seeing how you might be here a while, I'm gonna make the best of it. I'm gonna still try to enjoy my life. I'm gonna honor my energy. I'm not gonna give it away to people who aren't gonna appreciate it or benefit from it. And I'm gonna conserve myself and try to make my now bubble as pleasant as possible. And then as I get there, and these things change as they will, I'll appreciate them and like them, but I'm not gonna attach to anything out there or some kind of future idea or removal of this or that as a requirement for happiness. I'm gonna be happy now and then continually make reasonable progress in all areas of my life. So that's the kind of the mindset essentially that has helped me not only with managing myself at a job, but just in life in general in regard to the awakening. So hopefully it will help you. It took me a long time to kind of get to this. I allowed that urgency to dictate me around and drive myself bananas for a long time, and I would burn myself out. I would think I would go into victim mode, and I just suffered a lot unnecessarily. So hopefully this will spare you a little bit of that. Regardless, I will see you guys soon. Thank you for everything, all of your support and your emails and your likes and your comments and just all the beautiful messages you're sending to me every single day. It means the world to me. Thank you again. Have an amazing day. Peace.